Alright, yo, what up YouTube? Today I'm finally going to give you all what you've all been waiting for, the overview of everything I have on this truck that has been keeping me alive. So I don't know where to start. I guess I'll start from the back. So, oh, motorcycle. Go away, you're ruining my video. So first, shut up! I have my e-bike on the back. I put a little hitch thing on the underside, and you can see that I have stuff under there. More about that in a bit. I have a bunch of junk on here right now, just a bunch of trash I need to throw away. But I got my e-bike on here. I use that for short trips around town and stuff. It's got a huge battery. I 3D printed the battery case. Just a motor kit thing. It's on a mountain bike. And I just took a shower. I use this little pop-up pod, which actually makes it possible. I tried doing it the first time without it, and the wind is just way too cold. I printed this little shower holder thing for holding the shower, and it just clips on to the edge of the window. And this thing makes it all possible. It was like $300. And I freaking love it. It uses a little propane cylinder. You can see in the back there. And I have a 7-gallon water tank in the back. And a 5-gallon tank right here. I usually only need the 5 gallons to take a shower, which is kind of interesting. I thought I'd need more. I also 3D printed this little holder thing so I can put my soap and shampoo and stuff on there. And so this guy, I gotta turn him off. Well, here, I'll show you. Turn it on. You can hear it start the fire. And there it is. Running water. Hot running water. And so I got that thing. Just took a shower, all nice and squeaky clean. Oh, if you're wondering what this is just a garbage can. So now for the main stuff. I got lights on here. This light is super useful. And more lights on the ceiling in the back. This thing is a diesel heater. I just take the exhaust here, stick it out the window, and then through a crack in the window, I just crack the window. And keeps me nice and toasty even when it's really cold. I'm full on diesel right now, so don't gotta worry about getting cold tonight. Usually the diesel lasts me like, I don't know, 5 nights at Freddy's. When it's below freezing, it's actually pretty nice. I rarely have to fill it up. Maybe it's closer to a week. I got a microwave. To run the microwave, I take this. I have a 2000 watt inverter back there. I turn the inverter on and I just plug in the microwave. And there we go. I do have to have the tailgate down to use it, which when it's really cold outside and I just want to be in here, it's kind of annoying, but not too bad. So let me put that back. Oh, and this is the output for the diesel heater. It's where the hot air comes out. Notice I have the diesel heater in the truck and not outside the truck. That way its intake is taking in warm air that's already been warmed from inside and re-warming it instead of taking cold air from outside and having to heat it up. It's a little more efficient that way. You can see I have my sleeping pad here. There's a little hole in it I had to patch yesterday. But other than that, I love this sleeping pad. I sleep just fine on it. I don't have any issues. It's like foam and inflatable. As for where I get all my electricity from, I have this lithium iron phosphate battery. It's 1280. You can see right there, water. So just over a kilowatt hour. My solar charge controller, it's completely full right now, so it's not really, we got a lot of sun outside, so it's not really, I don't really need any more energy right now. This is the water tank. This is how I make my bed. I just stuff my blanket in the middle here, in between the battery area and the water jug. And put that back. And if you're wondering what these soda can thing glued on here are for, it's so that the water pump that I put in here, I can take it in, put it out, and take it in, or take it out and put it in, and it won't run out of water, or the water won't splash out. That's the main thing, is just keep the water from splashing out. And it works pretty well. I have to go over some pretty bad bumps for anything to get wet in here. Let's see, what else? I think that's pretty much everything on this side. I do obviously use the water heater for doing dishes and stuff like that too, which comes in really handy. On the other side, I have the duffel bag where I put all my laundry. I have all my toiletry stuff there. I have just a miscellaneous thing where I put my books and random thing, my glasses, random things like that. And I have another box here with random toiletry stuff in it. And I have 2 drawers for my clothes, which is pretty nice. I don't have to go through just a bag of clothes. I can actually have them organized somewhat. I have a chair up here as well. And at first I thought I wouldn't use it very often, but I actually use it quite a bit. Which is pretty nice when I'm outside cooking and on the tailgate and stuff. I 3D printed these hooks and glued them to the ceiling so I can just hang it up here. It never comes off when I'm driving. And then I have this other shelf here. This box has all my food in it. It's got a propane bottle up there too, but like oatmeal, cereal, pancake mix, pasta, all my dry food that doesn't need refrigeration. And then this box has like all my kitchen stuff, like knives and seasonings and stuff like that. I also keep my pans and stuff in the slot between them and the wall. So I have a pan here too. And the pan kept sliding off into here, so onto my bed when I was driving, so I 3D printed this little thing which keeps it from sliding off. And one other thing, I have a weightlifting bar because you gotta always do your squats while you're traveling, and I have 50 pounds of weights under there. Isn't very much, but it's just to help my running so that I have good form. Let's see, anything else? I 3D printed a lot of stuff, so I'm probably missing stuff. But if you're wondering where the solar comes from, it comes down here along with the other stuff for the diesel heater. Comes up, comes like that. And then I have my solar panels. And I 3D printed the little clip things that the zip ties hold the wires to. And I also 3D printed these little rails. You can't see them very well, but you can see them over here. These little rails that they're flexible solar panels. I can slide them through. So I can take them in and out pretty easily. And I welded, they're really terrible welds, I'm sorry, but you're not breaking it with your hands, so that's the point. I welded these little things. There's a little pin that goes through the grommet on here in the solar panel. So you'd have to cut through the panel itself to actually get it off, unless you break this thing off and then take these apart, and it'd be a real pain. And I 3D printed supports under here. I don't know if you can see them or not, but the whole point of it, instead of just gluing it to the top, is so that it gets airflow under there, because solar panels are more efficient when they're colder than when they're hot. And I have the same lock for this one too. And for all the windows, I used that reflective material. You probably saw it on the inside, but it's black on one side. And I did that on purpose because I think it looks kind of tacky when you have the shiny stuff shining out. You can tell somebody's living in there pretty easily. This just looks like it's tinted from a distance. So I think people can still tell that I'm traveling and living in here, but I think it helps a bit. So let's go over to the other side. This is going to be a long video. And I should edit it because I've been stumbling over my words a lot, but I really don't want to. So on this side, oh, you may have noticed this little thing. I locked myself out of my truck once because you can push the button down to lock it. And so I 3D printed these little things that go over the button, so I physically can't push it down. The only way to lock the door is with the key from the outside. So I have to have the key to lock the door, so I can't lock myself out. And this thing, you might notice it says Vever, along with the heater I have is a Vever heater, and I think I have a third thing. I can't remember what it is, but at some point I'm thinking of just putting like a sticker powered by Vever on the side of my truck, because I have so many Vever things, and it's not something, it's just a cheap brand, but it seems to work pretty well. So I got my fridge and freezer here. Oh, you can see the rolling shutter effect. And this side is my freezer, this side is my fridge. It holds pretty much everything I need it to hold. I do kind of want to put my English muffins in the fridge, but there's not much room. So this thing's really nice. You can see I also modified this. I put this on here so when I'm driving and I don't have my sunshade closed and there's sun on it, it doesn't have to work as hard. And I put a bunch of silver tape on the side and on the front too to help it. And I have these wires here that go in through the, sorry, let me get you guys upright, through the seatbelt hole, and it comes down. You might be able to see it coming across here. Focus. It doesn't want to focus. It comes through there and then comes up and goes to the battery. So that's how this guy is being powered by the battery. And you can see I have had to cram every little space in here with stuff. I have my blender in here. Yes, I use blenders for my smoothies, which I can't live without. And I have my helmet because my e-bike goes 40 miles an hour and I don't want to be a paraplegic. And I have all my tools. I had to fix some stuff today. I actually changed my oil today too, which is pretty nice. I don't have to go anywhere. I can just do it myself. I have this big beanbag thing, which my mom got for me, which is pretty nice, but it's so big. It's kind of a blessing and a curse because I have to move it from the front to the back when I'm driving, and then when I want to do stuff in the back, I have to move it to the front seat. So that's why it's outside right now. But I also got another inverter in here, and it runs to a wire that goes through the firewall that goes straight to the battery terminals. I obviously only use it when the engine's running. So I'm basically using the alternator as a generator. And I use that to charge the e-bike because the e-bike's battery is actually almost three times bigger than my solar battery. So if I try to charge it off that, I'll just drain the solar battery and not have a fridge. So that's why I do it that way. I do charge one of because I have two batteries on my e-bike in that 3D printed case. And I wish I would have taken this thing off, but you can kind of see it here. I have a cover that I can unbolt when I need to. And I charge one of the batteries off of the solar system and one of them off of the truck system. And because usually I don't empty the battery, so usually the solar can handle it. And especially a day like today where I was at 100% like an hour ago and it's only 2 o'clock, I have a lot of excess solar I can use to charge that. So that's what this guy is for. I also, you may have noticed that there were 2 cables coming down there on that side, and the other one is so that I can plug into my cigarette lighter to charge the solar battery in the back. It's just a trickle. People say you need a DC to DC charger, but the voltage difference between them is so low. I think the alternator puts out like 14 volts and the solar battery is like 13 or 13.5. So it's only like a 1 volt difference, and it's such a long cable that I only get about 5 amps of current going through depending on the charge of the battery. So I don't really need a DC to DC charger, and I just unplug it when I'm not driving so I don't have to worry about draining the car battery. But that helps supplement my energy needs when I'm not getting a ton of solar. Oh, let me show you this thing too. This thing is really nice. I got this on Amazon. It just is this little accordion thing that just suction cups to the window. It's never come off. You just stick it on like that and it works really well. Oh, and one other thing. This cup holder that is here and this little space with all my stuff in it is another thing I 3D printed. It snaps in place. The original cup holders had this little snap thing that came up and down for different size cups, and I used that same mechanism to snap this guy in place. And the main reason for that is because when I try to put a regular water bottle in, it's just too tall and it doesn't handle very tall water bottles. So now I have space for 2 taller water bottles, my smoothie bottle and my water, and my little trash can for receipts and stuff. And I also have space here for stuff. I 3D printed this out of ASA, which is like ABS but easier to print and can handle the heat of a hot car. It won't melt like PLA. You can see I have my friends accompanying me as well. Let's see, anything else? I think that's about everything. Oh, one other thing, forgot, I was gonna tell you guys. I have a belly pan that I made, and I tried to make a diffuser kind of a mechanism here. It kind of slopes up. I don't know how effective it is at increasing aerodynamics, but I also use this thing for, you can see I have a foam roller under there and some extra shoes. It's where I keep my oil pan. I don't know if you can see it in there, but I got an oil pan back there, my oil pan wrench, my jumper cables, some extra stuff. So it kind of helps me store things. But the belly pan runs all the way from the front to the back, and hopefully it's helping my gas mileage. I don't know how well it is, but going 55 and changing my spark plugs on this thing. If I'm just on the freeway, I get anywhere from 30 to 35 miles per gallon on the flat with no wind. So I figure that's pretty good for a pickup truck. City mileage and hills absolutely kill my mileage though. So, and oh, you might have noticed this thing. This is my little burner. I have a propane stove too that I usually use, but I was just using this to burn some extra paper since my trash can's full. So yes, I know I'm in the forest, but it burns really cleanly and it wasn't making any sparks. So yeah, very wordy video and not a whole lot of action, but that's the James Mobile. That's the truck. See you, YouTube.